Hello, I'm Emily David, Director of the Springfield Public Library and History Museum, where minds grow. And I'm here to give you a brief overview of our proposed FY24 budget for the library department. First, I'd like to thank the Budget Committee for volunteering your time to review our department budget as well as the budget for the entire city. And I also want to acknowledge Carrie Schindley-Couples, the library manager, who puts together the budget for our department. The library department has been working on our strategic plan, and we have a new mission statement: Discover, Connect, Grow. The department is composed of 5 programs that work together to provide opportunities to our community to connect to resources and to each other, to discover through books and play and exhibits and performers and more, and to grow through that discovery and through those connections. The museum program provides funding for 1 full-time curator and a 0.5 engagement and outreach position, as well as for exhibit curation, care and maintenance of the artifact collection, and educational programming for all ages. Much of the programming is done in collaboration with the library. The museum staff has done such an excellent job this year of connecting with community and caring for the collections and expanding representation in the exhibits that the budget was increased for the first time since the museum came back under the umbrella of the city in 2017. This $10,000 increase to the material and services budget will help to support these important initiatives. Library operations is where all of our general fund personnel are allocated. The library staff who each day welcome everyone through the doors of their public library. This year that was over 116,000 visitors, so we're creeping back up on our pre-pandemic numbers. And I'm so proud of the staff and how they respond to each and every request and challenge that comes through the door with expertise and integrity and care. The operations program also includes funding for marketing and development, as well as for our volunteer program and tech subscriptions for library infrastructure. Library Collections is the program where we maintain our digital and print collections. Library staff works hard to purchase materials that provide diverse representation of characters, life experiences, and viewpoints. We hope that every member of our community can find themselves reflected in the collection. The staff curate displays to showcase the collection and inspire patrons to read widely. The Library Services program contains all of the direct services we provide to the public, including circulation of materials, reference help, outreach to engage the greater community with library services, and programming for all ages and in Spanish. This program also includes creating environments that promote literacy, curiosity, and learning, like you see in the photo where the Play and Learn Center has been turned into a construction zone with the help of Public Works and Planning, who provided props and forms for the little workers to fill out. This is an example of how staff work to create an environment where everyone can discover, connect, and grow. The final program is the Springfield Arts Commission, a City Council appointed group, which is staffed out of our department at a 0.5 FTE. This group promotes arts in the city and often collaborates with the library and the museum to connect the community to cultural events. The Seasons of Light, which is an event that happens during the winter months, is a great example of how the department programs come together to provide wonderful opportunities for our community. So staff work to develop this each year, and together with downtown businesses, we collect warm weather clothing for people in need. There's a winter reading challenge that inspires people to explore the library collections. We have the illumination celebration at the museum that collects the oral histories and photos of underserved groups in our community, and then they become part of the permanent collection of the museum. And the library services develops take-home kits with crafts for the season. And then the Arts Commission often helps to fund the Seasons of Light. So the synergy of this very talented group of staff really creates these amazing opportunities for our community to discover, connect, and grow. This slide shows our organizational chart for the department, and we have 16 FTE as well as grant-funded on-call positions that help cover the service desks. And then there's a grant-funded 0.25 museum collections technician who is helping to address the backlog of work in the collections. So that can be anything from finding and cataloging artifacts to digitizing photographs. And then the boxes with the bright green borders are the groups that support the library or that we help support. So library staff helps to support the Springfield Arts Commission, the Library Advisory Board, and the Museum Committee. And the Museum Committee and the Library Advisory Board, which are City Council appointed groups, as well as the Teen Advisory Board, help to provide community oversight and support to the library. And then the foundation and the Friends raise funds to support the department initiatives and services. And the Lane Council of Libraries, or LCAW, is supported by the library tech specialist. And together with these libraries, we share an integrated library system. And so we share books throughout the county, throughout the libraries. And the intergovernmental agreement for this helps to pay a part of the tech specialist's salary. The proposed budget for the library department for FY24 is just over $2,491,000. And on this slide, you see that broken up by fund. So the majority of our funding comes from the 100 or general fund. And when you see the capital outlay here, that's for collections. So in the 204 fund, which is our gift and memorial fund, this is where we receive our grants and special gifts to support programming and initiatives in the library and the museum. And then 208, or the Transient Room Tax Fund, is where funding for the museum and the Arts Commission personnel and budgets comes from. This slide again highlights our support groups and our volunteers because quite frankly we couldn't do all that we do without them. And we're dependent on our volunteers to shelf books and to process materials as well as to assist at programs. And the Foundation and Friends continue to provide incredible support and funding to both the library and the museum. The Friends officially changed their name this year to the Friends of the Springfield Public Library and History Museum. And they had their most successful book sale to date, making nearly $13,000. So that is a lot of books being sold. And the foundation was able to establish the first ever Springfield Public Library endowment in memory of Kate Wallace, who generously left part of her estate to the library. So this endowment will provide library services to children in Springfield in perpetuity, and we also hope that it will inspire others to give in a similar way. Some of the many accomplishments of the library and the museum this year include technology updates. Technology or digital access and digital tools continue to be in high demand, and this new technology provides efficiency solutions as well as meets the needs of our community for access to technology. Along with updating the public computers in the library and the self-check machines, we've also launched a new mobile app that is shared by the Lane Council of Libraries, and it allows the patrons that want to manage their library accounts from their phone. This year we worked with Pivot Architects on the designs for the partial library remodel, and this project is funded by ARPA funds and will bring our 3 service desk area into one location, which we anticipate will create some efficiency in staffing these service desks, which can sometimes be hard to staff during all of our open hours. We will also be shifting the teen area into a larger space that will create a more inviting place for teens to study and to hang out, as well as separating them from the quieter areas in the library. And 3 meeting rooms will be added. And this is a need that we know our community has, meeting rooms and quiet places to work and study. And finally, we will improve the efficiency of the work areas in the back of house. To meet our community's needs, we continue to actively and successfully pursue grant funding. And in FY23, we raised over $150,000 in grants and special gifts to support programs and special initiatives in the library and the museum. So in the photos here, you'll see Danceability performing on the Fountain Plaza. This was one of the many successful multicultural programs that we brought to the community. It's a partnership with the Springfield Public Schools and a grant through the Oregon Department of Education. You'll also see a Braille keyboard, and this is one of the items that we purchased for ADA compatible technology from the Network of National Library of Medicine grant. And then we also are very thankful to Northwest Community Credit Union and the Springfield School District, who provided special gifts to continue the program For Every Student a Library, or FESL as we like to call it. And this is the program that provides library cards to youth and their families that live outside of the city limits but inside the boundaries of the school district. And it's a really well-used, well-loved, and wonderful program. So we're really thankful to have the funding to continue it. One of our top priorities is to ensure that our community finds themselves and their viewpoints represented in our spaces and in our services. So in FY24, we will continue to identify areas in our budget that support cultural programming, diverse materials, and opportunities for the community to come together to celebrate who we are and to learn from one another. And this summer, we hope to debut our fully outfitted new library van that we will begin using for pop-up library events out in the community. For many people in Springfield, the physical library is not accessible, or there's many people that don't know the services that the library and the museum provide. And so through surveys and focus groups, we've heard about the importance of meeting the community where they are. So we will dedicate limited staff time to identifying high needs areas and bringing the library and museum services to those areas. As we look to the coming years, there are many considerations. We will evaluate the library remodel updates and use the ADA compatibility lens to ensure accessibility in both the library and the museum, considering entrances, furniture, technology, layout, etc. The museum still needs some safety and environmental upgrades, including fire suppression, secure external doors, seismic upgrades, and temperature and lighting control for collection preservation. And I've talked about the wonderful staff that we have here at the library and the museum and the incredible work that they're doing for our community. We will be working hard to find the balance of responding to the community needs without letting that demand burn out staff. We need to meet people where they are in the community and continue to keep the physical library and museum spaces open, which stretches staffing. We also know that in tough economic times, the demand for library services and spaces increases. So ensuring that we are providing great services and keeping staff well-being as a priority will continue to be a focus. We continue to consider how best to meet the collections needs of our library users. E-collections are now core library offerings, yet about 71% of our overall collection or our overall circulation remains physical materials. Offering multiple formats and access points allows the library to meet the diverse needs of our users. Making cuts to less used parts of our print collection does not equal the cost of the e-collection additions. The variety and demand outpaces our budget. So as we implement our new strategic plan, we will continue to evaluate our services and will focus resources where community input has specified, and will continue to look for supplements to our budget through grants, gifts, and fundraising. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions about our budget or any of the information that I've shared here, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.